We do have a quorum this evening, and item 3 on our agenda is the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. Reverend King will lead us in the invocation this evening, and Mr. Peterson will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. If you are able, would you please stand?
Father God, we thank you so much for the evening. Lord, right now we ask for wisdom as we continue to move to the follow, to give us the understanding that as we do, we consider everyone. And we just want to thank you and praise you for giving us the input that we might do. We thank you. In Christ's name we pray.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item 4 are citizens with input relative to the agenda items except for public hearings where we will offer you an opportunity to address that item. Anyone that would like to address mayor and council at this time? Thank you. Item 5 is a public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide any interested parties with an opportunity to express their views and concerns in accordance with OCGA Section 36-66-4. This public hearing is now open. Item 5A is a discussion of the comprehensive plan update. Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, I will be taking you through the slides that were provided by Mr. Duffy. He had to leave. But be happy to answer any questions you might have. Just as a point of clarification, Mr. Duffy is the point of contact for the staff for this project, and I know he's looking forward to working with you all. I don't think it needs to be imparted upon this group how important the comprehensive plan effort is going to be this year and really going into next year. It will be, in all likelihood, the most complete, comprehensive plan the city of Perry has ever done. A little historical context. As you're probably aware, up to this point in time, the city has completed a joint comprehensive plan with Houston County and our sister cities, Warner Robins and Centerville. It has been a good effort, and the planning document that has come out of that has been generally successful and in line with what is required by the state of Georgia that we complete every 5 years. However, when it gets to the point of the staff or the planning commission or you all utilizing that plan and informing the decisions that we all have to make, it has fallen short. And it has not been tailored to the specificities of Perry to the extent that we felt it should have been. And for that reason, this year the city of Perry will be completing our own comprehensive plan that will be, generally combined with the Houston County Comprehensive Plan once we're done. But it should work towards providing us with something that will be a whole lot more forward-thinking and a whole lot more useful in practical application, if that makes sense. So again, very exciting. The city has partnered with TSW, a professional planning firm out of Atlanta. They have extensive experience working with municipalities across the state, across the Southeast, and completing comprehensive planning efforts, and they will be, along with Mr. Duffy and our community development staff, driving the planning process for the city. Does anyone have any questions about kind of how we got to where we are today with this? This is actually the first required public hearing of the comprehensive planning process as required by the state, and it formally kicks off the comp plan process for the city. So we're starting now, and we anticipate being done next February. So it is, again, a long process. There's a lot of diligence that must be completed throughout, a lot of focus placed on community engagement, receiving input from the citizens, really just a excellent plan forward that they have put together for the city. I've already touched on a lot of this. I'm just going to kind of run through these. I don't believe in standing here and reading PowerPoint slides to you all. for the comp plan, you can see that here, guides future land use and development decisions in Perry, provides direction as it relates to that sort of thing, and setting out infrastructure planning for what needs to be put into place to support development, and then of course a long-term vision for the city. Three just very critical components associated with this plan. I would envision, I hope you all would share this vision, that this document will be referenced, very often. One of those things where you have a bunch of post-it notes in it, and scribbles and all sorts of stuff because you're utilizing it so much, and we have to print you out multiple copies because you have worn out the copy that you currently have. It really is going to work well, I think, for all of us in making sure that the decisions we make are sound and well-reasoned. The project goals, of course, at the bare minimum, this does allow the city of Perry to meet state minimum requirements associated with comprehensive planning. But we hope to really exceed that, go beyond that this go around, which is why we're doing it ourselves. And it will, and that's really been one of the big problems, is we have a whole lot of plans. Cities like to put together plans. Sometimes we use them, sometimes we don't. We reference them sometimes we don't. With this plan, we're hoping to take a lot of what's already been put into place. Because there has been a lot of efforts placed into planning up to this point in time, and using those to inform the comprehensive plan as it relates to housing, downtown development, our city's strategic plan, all those sorts of things coming and kind of coalescing into this comprehensive plan. So that'll be very beneficial there to eliminate some redundancies, possibly. You can see the multiple phases here. Not really going to go through those with you all, but there is again, a very robust process that we'll go through to put this plan together. Again, the overall schedule, as I mentioned, we had some preliminary staff meetings. We had your all's retreat last month where we discussed this, and today is formally kicking off kind of the public-facing portion of the plan, and we'll be working through the various phases until completion. And I believe it's right there. We actually have to have a comprehensive plan to the state next February. I think community engagement has been something that you all as a body have wanted to see more of, and we're hoping that this plan and the process that's put into place provides that for you all. We discussed a little bit in pre-council about some of the interesting activities and creative ways that city staff and TSW will work to kind of get word out about the process and receive input. We're hoping to really have a full suite of reaching out to our folks and trying to get as much input into this process as we can. And you can see some of the things here designed towards engaging the public. One of the cooler things I thought that TSW brought to the table is putting together a website, which is essentially going to be the hosting point, for various activities associated with the planning initiative. Public can go there, receive input about where we are in the planning process, provide their own input, look at some of the documentation and progress reports and things like that that have been put together. And of course, this will all link up to our existing City of Perry website, social media platforms, that sort of stuff. And point is very well taken within the pre-council that not all of our citizens are as digitally able, I don't know if it's the proper nomenclature, but as into technology as some other folks might be. So ensuring that we're able to reach those folks as well. And we'll do things like print brochures that can be handed out with QR codes or not QR codes. If they want to drop off input to City Hall, we probably accept that stuff too. Very aware that there is a certain demographic that may not want to engage with this process digitally, so we have to look for other ways to engage with them. You can see the survey will be coming out soon. Some of the ways we're trying to reach out to folks. I think with all of what the City of Perry provides to the public insofar as events, engagement opportunities, leisure services, programming, all that sort of stuff, there'll be plenty of ways to reach the folks that we want to reach. Some of the next steps, getting the survey is going to be obviously the big one, but staff and TSW will be working diligently on this and keeping you all up to date on where we are. Kind of a quick down and dirty on that, I understand. But again, this is going to be a very, I hope, exciting process. We hope to get as much engagement as we can from the public on this. And ultimately, I think the product that will be produced is going to be exceptional.
Okay. Question, council. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to point out for our public that although the website is live, it is new. It's in its infantile stage, right? More dates are going to be posted on there soon for public input, as well as, like Mr. Smith mentioned, there is a survey that's going to be available soon that will be on there. So keep an eye out on that. Please share that and share it widely. Like, that is something that we want literally every single community member to have input in or the opportunity for that. So, but yes, so that website, again, there will be more dates that are going to be posted there, aside from just the wine tasting. Because when you look right now, it's the wine tasting and the survey, and that's really all that's there. So more to come where that's concerned. And as I mentioned in pre-council, if you are interested in a lot of these plans that Mr. Smith referenced, they are also on that under the planning tab and all in one place, which is super nice. So thank you so much. And thank you for your work on this.
And I think that's a good reminder, because truly, as Mr. Smith said, we want as much public engagement as we can gather on this over the next few months during this process. And Reverend King has pointed out that not everybody has a computer at home. So we're going to continually to look for ways to connect that's just not on a computer survey. And so I think it's going to be very important for us to do that. And thank you for those comments. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you for those points, Dr. Faust, Mayor Walker, and thank you, Mr. Smith. I would like to see this in the public's, I don't want to say in their face, but I want this to be publicly available at all, at leisure services, at Rosar Park, at leisure services events, at downtown events. I want, as it was mentioned during the pre-council, we want input from all demographics, print as well as QR codes, as well as a website, at everything. Any event that the city of Perry puts on, I'd like to see this at those events.
To add to Mr. Moody's point, if I recall correctly at our retreat, was there also not talk of setting up shop in neighborhoods from time to time as well, sort of like we did with the pop-up events?
Things?
Yes.
I believe that was discussed.
Okay. I think that could be beneficial as well.
Yes, sir.
Other comments?
I'm pretty excited about this. I think it's going to be great. I did have a question, though. In this process, especially as we're looking at vision and goals and things like that, do you see any place in here where we begin to actually state out some of the policies of the city? We really have, I think, some policies, but they're kind of unstated. They kind of get applied sometimes. But is there a place in this, or would that come maybe following the comp plan once the whole thing is kind of completed?
In and of itself, I think the comp plan will be essentially a policy document, but certainly policies could come out of what is codified in the comprehensive plan. But I don't know if it necessarily be a situation where there'd be a bunch of policies in the comprehensive plan, if that makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Other questions or comments? Thank you, Mr. Smith. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to speak in support or for this comprehensive plan, or your thoughts about this comprehensive plan? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition of this plan? Thank you. This public hearing is now closed. Item 6, a review of the minutes. 6A is, council members, you've been provided with the minutes of our March the 3rd, 2026 pre-council meeting and our March the 3rd, 2026 regular meeting. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to accept those minutes as presented. So moved. Motion and a second. Are there any changes, deletions, additions that you would like to make to the minutes as presented? Hearing none at this time, all in favor of accepting the minutes, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show the minutes were approved unanimously. Item 7 is unfinished business. 7A is unfinished business from the mayor. I have none. 7B is unfinished business from our council members. Dr. Faust? Yes, sir. Mr. Jones? No, sir. Dr. Albritton? No, sir. Mr. Moody?
No, sir.
Mayor Pro Tem?
None for me.
Reverend King?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there any unfinished business from our city attorney, Ms. Newby?
No, sir.
Is there any unfinished business from our city manager, Mr. Smith?
No, sir.
Is there any unfinished business from our assistant city manager, Mr. Worthington?
No, sir.
Thank you. Item 8 is new business. 8A are matters referred from our March the 16th, 2026 work session and our March 17th, 2026 pre-council meeting. I have 2 items that were carried over from our March 16th meeting yesterday. 8A1 is a flood hazard mitigation grant application. Mr. Smith, are you going to talk through that?
Yes, sir, I certainly can. Mayor and council, you will remember yesterday at the work session, Mr. Gore, our chief building official, came to you all with a request to work with FEMA and updating a portion of the city's flood map system. He told you all that the FEMA was working on updating county-wide flood maps, and that was going to be a process that would take about 5 years. And with this grant, it would actually move up the time frame for this particularly sensitive area and provide you all with updated flood maps as you make potential development decisions, again, in that sensitive flood basin area. From my perspective, whatever we can do as a city to be proactive as it relates to stormwater management, the better we'll be. Stormwater continues to be a significant and increasingly so issue for municipalities across the state. And if we can invest a small amount of money and get a pretty significant return on investment through this grant program and get this work done by qualified engineers, then that's great. I'm all for that sort of thing. So that, again, that was the request, was to submit a grant application to work with FEMA and possibly funding this process, if that makes sense.
And I think the match that's required of us is $10,000.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
So, council members, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the flood hazard mitigation grant application request.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show the grant request was approved unanimously. Item 8A2, command post replacement request. Chief Everidge?
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mayor and Council. As we addressed last night, the police department had a motorhome that was donated to it. Best I can tell, somewhere around 2011 or 12. They attempted to make into a command post. It still has some very significant limitations to it. We've had some mechanical issues, some structural, electronic issues, as well as some roof issues on it. The idea of investing money into trying to repair those issues for something that really doesn't work very well for what the idea was for. We would like to move forward with surplusing that and selling it at auction with the request that we earmark whatever money is raised from that to hold for the replacement of a new command post trailer. And that would also be, remainder would be paid for out of seized funds from our local drug dealers. So we could use it, put it to good work. It could be used for police and fire in emergency situations.
Council. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, Chief. What do you think we could get for that RV?
You know, I talked to someone at an auction place, and I talked to somebody at an RV company. It all depends on who comes to the auction. They estimate anywhere from $7,000 to $11,000. He said, but if you don't get them, you may only have $2,500, $3,000. Just depends who's there. RV company said, based off of the needs of it, they came and looked at it for us to give us an idea of what the repair on it would be. They said if they put it on their lot and had to just as it was, say, $8,000, $9,000.
Do you suppose that in the best case scenario, let's just say $7,000, do we have enough seized assets to be able to replace?
We do.
Okay, so there's no
I
cost.
was gonna say, we priced around on some trailers at $25,000 to $30,000, so we're willing to commit up to $30,000 of the seized asset account.
Okay, thank you.
Other questions or comments? Yes, ma'am.
I think that's a great use of those funds.
Well, might as well put it to work for something good.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem, you have anything? I notice your mic. I didn't know if you were one that had a comment. Okay, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Any additional questions? Hearing none at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the request as outlined by Chief Etheridge. There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show that the request was approved unanimously. I hope you get 8,000. I hope you get 11. 8B is award of bids. 8B1 is bid number 2026-01 for the Shasta Drive stormwater improvements. Mr. Worthington?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, this is a project to improve a stormwater conveyance ditch that currently sits between two properties over in the Alpine Valley subdivision. Currently, there's an outlet essentially halfway between their 2 yards, and the water from that outlet runs through a ditch down to the regional stormwater pond for that neighborhood. What this project would do is actually fully enclose the rest of that pipe down to the regional stormwater pond so that the water isn't in a ditch, which currently there's some maintenance issues, erosion and such in that ditch. Followed a standard bidding process on this and received 5 bids. The lowest one was JCON LLC in the amount of $22,673.91. Funding for this would come from the Stormwater Utility Fund. Staff's recommendation is to award it to the lowest bidder, JCON LLC, in the amount of $22,673.91.
Thank you. Questions, council? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as I mentioned previously in pre-council, I just have some questions about kind of how this happened to begin with, right? So I think you're going to get back with us on that.
Yes, ma'am.
And is this pipe located on personal property?
We have a stormwater easement. Is that correct, Ms. Snoopy? To convey that the rest of the way down? Yeah, that's my I've seen the easement.
So I guess, and I'm sorry, I'm just new, so forgive me, but I guess I just wonder if it were, like, how do we say, okay, we're going to fix this on your property, but we have multiple properties that are personally owned across the city that have stormwater issues? Like, where do we draw the line on that? Like, as opposed to like having the homeowner handle it, having the city handle it, having the developer held accountable if it wasn't done correctly to begin with. You know, like where do we draw the line on those things?
So I would say on this one that this is actually a stormwater drainage system for the entire neighborhood. It leads straight to an outlet up on the road that drains the water from that road down to the ditch. So while it is in between two properties, it's part of the entire system for the neighborhood, so I wouldn't view it as owned by any individual. It's for the whole neighborhood, part of our stormwater system.
So wouldn't that have been part of the developer's original plan?
Yes, ma'am, I believe it would.
That's where that's where the rub comes in with me.
Sure.
Like if this is something that should have been handled through adequate development, then that changes my opinion on things.
Sure. And we can do the research and get that information. Yeah. I do not have it at the moment.
To follow up on that, is that something, if it is the fault of the developer, can at this stage we hold them accountable for that and they pay for it?
I would
Just
need to
asking.
default to someone else. No.
So Mr. McMurrian would be the best person to be able to answer this as to the history, the current location, and what's needed as to any type of stormwater easement. If at the time that the development occurred, it met stormwater regulations and then the city accepted the stormwater infrastructure and accepted ownership and maintenance of it, then at this point, to Mr. Worthington's earlier point, if we have a stormwater easement, so we're not yes, it runs on private property, but we have the easement rights, so we're not working within private property, we're working within our easement, then it would be, excuse me, as well as it's benefiting what we refer to as the public stormwater, meaning the stormwater that's draining off of the right-of-way to this development's stormwater pond, then we consider that city stormwater and that to be our responsibility to maintain that. Again, I'm not an engineer. Mr. McMurray would be able to better answer that specific question, but that's usually how situations like this come up to do stormwater repairs.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions or comments? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the bid as outlined by Mr. Worthington.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please, those opposed, please let the record show that the vote was 5-1, 5 for and 1 against. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 8C is resolutions for consideration and adoption. 8C1 is a resolution accepting ownership and maintenance of rights-of-way and certain infrastructure in the Gables Phase 2. Mr. Smith?
Yes, Mayor. This is a standard procedure through which, once the infrastructure is completed, inspected, and generally deemed acceptable in subdivisions, that the city accepts it for ownership and maintenance. And this is for water, sanitary, sewer, and stormwater infrastructure and streets of rights-of-way in the Gables and Agricultural Village subdivision.
And as we talked earlier, this does meet all of our requirements at this time. Yes. Thank you. Questions, council? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve acceptance of the rights-of-way and infrastructure as outlined by Mr. Smith.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show the resolution was approved unanimously. Item 9 are general public items. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to address mayor and council at this time? Yes, sir. If you'd come forward and give us your name and address, I'd appreciate it.
Robert Russell, 913 Evergreen Street in Perry. A little concerned about the flood maps. We had a catastrophe in 1994, a 500-year flood. And going down Frank Satterfield, when you get to that low area where they're talking about proposing to build all those houses, that would be in an area where it would probably flood in a catastrophe like that. I don't understand. I'm trying to understand about the 100-year versus the 500-year plan. And it's okay to put them in a 100-year floodplain, but not in it. I just don't get it.
Okay. Well, this is where we're actually doing the study right now to determine what is changed in that area. So
I just know that I've looked at several properties about buying them, and they would be in a floodplain, like over here on Tucker Road, little house with the stilts on it. That was in the floodplain. And I was like, how can that be in the floodplain? Well, we put it in the floodplain in the flood of 94. It all changed. So I was wondering how that impacted what we're considering now.
it'll be by the federal standards.
Okay.
It'll be the 100-year flood and the 500-year flood, and people will be made aware of that.
So
FEMA standards.
Is it allowable in a 100-year floodplain?
I can't answer that question.
Okay.
We can get that information for you.
Okay. I'm just curious about when you can build a house in a flood area and when you can't.
Okay. We'll get that information for you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who would like to address mayor and council at this time? Thank you. Item 10 are council member items. Dr. Faust?
I do. So over the past few years, our citizens have seen a lot of rate increases, fee increases, et cetera. And as we move into this budget season, I just want to put my personal, in this elected seat, thoughts out there that I will not be supporting or voting for any budget proposals that include fee or rate increases for this next year. I know that we have work to do in our city, and I know that there are there's a lot that goes into that, and I want our department chairs to have plenty of time to plan accordingly as that's concerned, because our citizens can only take so much, and we're at that point. We do not have an appetite for more of that. So that's where I stand on that, and I just wanted to make that part of public record.
I don't have much to add to that, except that I concur with Dr. Faust.
Thank you. Dr. Albrecht? Mr. Moody?
Yes, sir. I hadn't thought about comments until Dr. Faust and Mr. Jones spoke up. I would agree with that. Affordability is a big issue right now for everyone. The Georgia legislature is very aware of affordability issues, and they're working on that. They're crafting legislation to help with affordability issues. And the citizens of Perry are well aware of what it costs now to live, the cost of living. And I would echo my sentiments too, that I am not in favor of any rate or fee increases for the fiscal 27 budget. Only as a absolutely last resort. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem?
Actually, I have 3 items. First off, I just want to reemphasize again, this comprehensive plan project is absolutely huge for our city. And this plan, properly done, will become the North Star by which we will navigate so many of the decisions that come down the road. So everyone's input is very wanted, and it's very important, and we really need to get this right. So I'm glad we have a good team of people working on it, and I'm sure the council will be very involved in this, as well as all the staff. Second, as has already been said, you're right, it is budget season. This is probably, in my opinion, not that I've been around that long, but to me, this is the biggest and most important budget maybe ever attempted to be passed here in the city. We're going to deal with more revenue. We're going to deal with more debt. We're going to deal with more people in this city that need the city services that are provided. We're dealing with more development that's ever probably been happened in our city. So it's a super important time for us to get this right. And I joined some of my other colleagues who have expressed their opinion. I appreciate that. I'm also not in favor of using additional rate increases or fee increases to try to cover our budget. And I think that's important for all the staff, the department heads, maybe to be considering that as you formulate your budgets. Next work session, which will be 2 weeks from yesterday, our budget will be a workshop budget where we'll be discussing revenue, and it's always good to know how much money you're going to have to work with and how does all that money get allocated. So it's going to be a very important time, and important that you at least know that up front. Lastly, just wanted to mention, I think about a week and a half ago, I had the privilege of doing a ride around with one of our police officers on a night patrol. And I just want to say, it's one thing to hear about how great our police are, how great our fire is, stuff. But when you ride around with those men and women, you see how they multitask. You see the professionalism that they deal with, the situations that they can walk into, totally unknown, that can be dangerous. And it was just very impressive and encouraging to see how hard they work at not just combating crime that's here, but actually preventing it from coming into our city to begin with. So all that to say to the citizens, we are so well protected. We're well watched over. And Chief, thank you for setting that up, and thanks for all you do. Appreciate that.
Thank you. I agree, but it takes support from the community and from the elected officials, and we're very blessed for both here in Perry. I'm very proud of the group of men and women that work here every day to try to keep us safe.
Reverend King?
Yes, I'd like to give ditto to Chief Parker for being on alert. Every time there's a weather storm coming in, anything like that, he will let the community know, and I just want to appreciate him for letting us be aware of, and so we can take into consideration what we need to do or how we need to locate ourselves for the storm that's coming in. And thank you, Chief Parker.
Thank you. Mr. Smith, do you have anything this evening?
No, sir, nothing.
Mr. Worthington? Nothing tonight. Ms. Newby? Okay. Item 11, apartment head items. Ms. Wharton? Mr. Coates?
Yes, Mayor and Council, I'd like to take this time to remind the community of one of the Leisure Services' upcoming events, which is the Special Needs Egg Hunt on March 28th, starting at 11 o'clock a.m.
Okay. It's a fine event. Look forward to it.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you. Chief?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Chief Everidge?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Mr. Shoemate? Ms. Birdshaw? Okay, Ms. Clark? Ms. Warren, anything? Okay, thank you. Item 12 is mayor items. I again remind you that our meeting is open to the public, and we encourage your interest in participation. Our next meeting will be our work session on April the 6th, which will be here at 5 o'clock in the evening, and then our regular meetings will be on the 7th with pre-council at 5 and our council meeting at 6. So look forward to having each and every one of you at those meetings. We do not have a need for executive session this evening. Is there anything else that needs to come before us this evening before we stand adjourned? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our regular session. Motion and second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. We do stand adjourned until the 6th.